Hi friends, this is Krish, the Urban Naxal, and today I'm going to say something to you about real estate prices. There are a lot of people who have paid 10%, 20% advance towards flats. Many of them would have entered into flat purchase agreements. The advice that I'm going to give you right now is, it is not worth going ahead. Ditch that deal. If you can get refund for some part of it, get the refund, but ditch the deal. Break the deal. The reason is this: the market value of your flat is not going to be the same after the coronavirus crisis is over. It is not going to be a small difference. It is not going to be a 5% difference. It is going to be a 50% difference, or it's going to be a 70% difference. Is there good news? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Quite likely. If you're a flat purchaser, you'll be able to purchase flats cheaper, way cheaper, maybe at 30% of the present value, maybe even less, maybe 20% of the present value. Flats that were out of your reach will come within your reach. What I'm saying is that the market will drastically reduce. So please don't go ahead with your payments. It is not a good idea to go ahead with the payments for those flats, even if you're paid 10%, even if you're paid 20%, and maybe even if you're paid 30%. Okay, so what happens if you've already paid 50, 60, 70, 80% of the flat value and you are receiving demand letters or emails demanding payment from the builder today, now, in the month of April 2020? Here is my suggestion to you: don't pay. Why? Because it is wrong of him to ask you to make payment at this time of crisis. It is wrong of him to ask you to make payment when you already made payment of 50, 60, 70% of the flat purchase value. Write an email saying that due to the coronavirus crisis, due to the lockdown of the economy, you are unable to pay for various reasons. Okay? Don't have to be more specific than that. You need not pay. My thing is, you should not pay. Why? You should not pay until the picture on the economy becomes clearer. If he were to void the agreement based on your non-payment, or if he goes to load penal interest onto your consideration value, then I think you should be able to take him to court and say this guy was being mercenary. Most people assume that things will return to normal. No, they will not. Economists are saying, our GDP growth rate will go down to 2%, 3%, 1%. Nonsense. To talk about GDP growth rate in this present scenario is laughable and complete nonsense. The entire economy is going to reset itself. It is not going to look like the economy we were operating in. Everything will change. The prices of shares will change. The prices of mutual funds will change. The net asset values will change. The prices of gold will change drastically. The prices of real estate will change drastically. Salaries, wages, everything will change drastically. The very, very fancy salaries that managers were drawing will probably not continue. So if somebody is going to purchase property on the assumption that, things are going to return to normal and things will be just business as usual, he would be a fool to do that. If you're a smart investor and you haven't yet bought property, hold on to your money. Buy the property after a few months, when things become clearer, when the dust settles. Alternatively, if you think now is the time to strike, don't buy a flat in any project which is still under construction. This is a bad time to be buying under construction flats, simply because the predictability of when you will get the possession is very, very low. You cannot predict whether the builder will be able to construct by 2021 or 2024 or 2028. It is very, very unpredictable. Please believe me, your best bet is to buy a property that already exists. Now, what are the kind of prices you should be aiming for if you are striking a deal with a house owner or an investor who already owns a property and the property is already in his possession? So if someone says, I'm going to make a smart purchase today, I'm going to enter into a deal and buy a flat today, what he should be offering the investor should not be more than 50% of the present rates, maybe 30% of the present rates, or 20% of the present rates. And then it is down to negotiation. If the investor needs the money today, in these hard times, he will sell you the flat, even at 20% of the present rate. Your stamp duty ready reckoner goes for a toss. The stamp duty ready reckoner now no longer reflects the reality. I don't care what any estate agent is going to tell you in this present market. If he says a price which is anywhere close to the present price, he is not close to the reality. The real prices will be in the range of 25-30%, in my opinion, of the present value, or even less. If the banking sector survives this in any shape or form, then you will probably be able to purchase flats at a fraction of their present value. Please purchase flats that are ready possession. Don't invest in projects which are yet to come up. There is no guarantee of their coming up for the next few years. The whole world entering into the coronavirus crisis in December 2019 is a very different animal from the economy, the world economy that will emerge at the end of the coronavirus crisis, whether the end comes in 2020 or 2021 or 2022 or whenever it comes. There are two eras now, before coronavirus and after coronavirus. Just as the 20th century was divided into before world wars and after world wars, the economy was drastically different. America going into World War II was drastically different from America that emerged from World War II. Japan that went into World War II was completely different from the Japan that emerged from World War II. The coronavirus has already hit the economy harder than any world war could have. And it is still hitting it. It is like a forest fire raging through the world economy. After the forest fire, you will see new growth. Old trees, massive trees will have been destroyed. The grasses and the small seeds that have survived will now grow into tall trees and will repopulate the forest. This is how our economy will also function. It is an ecosystem. It has been completely destroyed. And what will emerge at the end of this coronavirus crisis will be very, very different. A new growth will have to happen. It is not continuation of the old economy. Therefore, continuation of the old contracts, whether they are employment contracts or whether they are contracts for purchase of any kind of goods and services or supply of any kind of goods and services, all kinds of contracts will be renegotiated. Buildings that were supposed to come up in 2021 will not come up in 2021. They may hopefully come up in 2025 or not even that. Maybe 2030, and that too, there will be changes in dimensions, there will be all kinds of changes. Don't give your money to a builder who will then dictate terms to you. If you haven't paid a substantial part of the flat purchase consideration, don't pay the rest. Wait until this whole thing plays out. But what about if you are in a hurry? If you are in a tearing hurry to buy, then go buy your flats from an investor who already has ready possession of his flat and who will give you ready possession now. Buy it at a deeply discounted price. Deeply discounted, because I am saying that the prices cannot be anywhere near what is present today. It will not be an appreciation after this. It is bound to be a discounting. How much discounting? Maybe 50% discounting. Maybe more than 50% discounting. If you are an investor, if you are holding on to vacant flats, if someone offers you 50, 60, 70% of the current market prices, you would be really smart to dispose them off. Because tomorrow or next month or the month after that, you will not be getting back the value of your flat. You will not be getting 70%. You will be getting 50% or 30% or 20%. Or you will not be finding a purchaser for a very, very, very long time. If you are an investor who is holding a flat, sell it at the best damn price you can get today. If you get 100% or 90%, even the price that you paid for it 5 years ago, I think you'll be very, very smart to dispose it off immediately. No questions asked. If you have to sell it at a 10% discount on the price that you purchased the flat at 5 years ago or 3 years ago, sell it at 10% discount, cash out. You will probably thank me later. Now is the time for you to cash out, because when the market correction sets in, boss, you will not be in a position to demand any price. Don't be under any illusion that the same normal which was there, the same economic trends which were there, the same pricing structures which were there will continue. Far from it. Far from it. This is Krish, the Urban Naxal. Call me if you have any inputs, and if you succeed in striking these deals, call me to thank me. I know you will want to thank me. Good night.